You already know. Deep inside, you already know that you were meant for more. More than the habits you've settled into. More than the limits you've accepted. More than the excuses you rehearse when no one's watching. There comes a moment in every person's life, a quiet collision between truth and fear, when the soul whispers, "This is not who I was meant to be." And in that moment, you are standing at a crossroads. One path leads backward, familiar, predictable, and suffocating. The other, it's a fire. It's a calling. It's the road that demands everything. But it gives you everything in return. And to take that path, you must burn the bridge to who you were, not tiptoe away, not negotiate with your comfort zone. You must strike the match and watch it go up in flames, because as long as that bridge exists, you will always leave room for retreat. Every great story of transformation begins not with a plan, but with a decision. Edison didn't invent the light bulb because he knew it would work. He committed obsessively because the idea of living in darkness was unacceptable. Lincoln didn't lead a broken nation because it was easy. He led because there was no moral bridge back to silence. Disney didn't build an empire of imagination because he had a blueprint. He moved forward with belief when no one else could see what he saw. They didn't look back, and neither will you. Let me tell you something few are willing to say out loud. The old version of you must die. Not physically, but psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. That version of you, the one that doubted, delayed, avoided, complained, cannot survive in the world you're building. There is no room for half-belief in a full conviction life. You can't build a skyscraper with the mindset of a tenant. You can't lead a revolution with the voice of a follower. And you can't create a legacy with the habits of survival. So many people are living in limbo, trying to upgrade their lives while staying loyal to the identity they've outgrown. They want success, but still think like a spectator. They want confidence, but still seek approval. They want freedom, but still carry chains made of comfort and fear. You can't have both. At some point, the old you becomes the enemy. And it's time to confront that enemy with fire. Burn the bridge. Burn the bridge to laziness. The one that tells you rest when you've barely started. Burn the bridge to procrastination. The voice that says later when the clock is bleeding opportunity. Burn the bridge to doubt. The toxic whisper that questions your worth every time you take a step forward. Burn the bridge to validation. The exhausting need to be liked, accepted, approved. Because here's the truth. The new you is not created by accident. It's forged in silence, in sweat, in solitude. In the unseen hours when no one claps and no one watches, but you show up anyway. You want a different life? Then you need a different standard. And the price is everything you're not willing to bring with you. Let the fire cleanse the fear. Let it consume the lies you've told yourself. Let it reduce the detours, delays, and doubts into ash. This is the start of your becoming, not a motivation high, not a weekend decision, but a permanent, irreversible spiritual war against everything that once held you back. You don't need more time, you don't need more motivation, you need a line in the sand, because when the bridge is gone, you only have one direction left, forward. And the mind, oh, the mind is the first battlefield. You've been taught to protect your limitations, to worship safety, to value comfort over calling, but that was never truth. It was training, cultural hypnosis, and it ends now. The mind is not a cage, it's a weapon, but most people never learn to use it. They let it use them. They let it echo the voices of their past, the fears of their parents, the wounds of rejection, the noise of comparison. But you're waking up. You're beginning to see that thoughts are not commands. They are tools. And belief is not optional. It's the soil from which everything grows. Do you understand what that means? It means nothing changes until you decide to change it. It means the moment you stop arguing for your limits, they vanish. The second you stop repeating the story of who hurt you, who doubted you, who left you, you reclaim the power they took. Because that story is not you. That story was a lesson. The pain wasn't your prison. It was your preparation. The betrayal, the burnout, the failure, the rock bottom, all of it, it wasn't the end. It was the evidence that the old version of you is too small for the life that's coming. So you outgrow it. You outthink it. You outwork it. You obliterate it. You stop feeding the identity that holds you back and start building the one that pulls you forward, brick by brick, breath by breath. There is no arrival, only alignment, only decisions made in silence that echo through eternity. Burn the bridge. Because the person you were yesterday is not qualified to lead the life you deserve tomorrow. And now that the smoke is rising from the bridge you've burned, now that you've cut off your return to mediocrity, there is only one thing that matters: clarity. Clarity is the lens through which you shape your future. Without it, you'll move, but you'll drift. You'll work, but waste energy. You'll try, but never transform. Most people don't fail because they lack potential. They fail because their vision is vague. You cannot hit a target you cannot see, and you cannot become something you haven't clearly imagined. Think of Carnegie, who built a steel empire from dust and hunger. Think of Ford, who envisioned the automobile in every driveway before most people could imagine roads. Think of Hill himself, who wrote Think and Grow Rich not as a book of fantasies, but as a blueprint forged from interviews with 500 of the world's most successful men. They didn't succeed by chance. They succeeded by choice, backed by vision, backed by clarity, backed by the obsession to see it through. Clarity is not passive. It's violent in its commitment. It cuts through distraction. It says no to everything that doesn't lead to your purpose. It rewires your days around your destiny. You don't rise by accident, you rise by design. So ask yourself, what do you truly want? Strip away what sounds good, what earns praise, what others expect. What sets your soul on fire? What vision do you see when your eyes are closed, but refuse to pursue when they're open? That vision is yours. No one will build it for you. No one will hand it to you. You must own it, declare it, and construct it, day after day, thought after thought, action after action. And once you see it, you must protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. When clarity is present, your purpose is no longer a mystery. It's a command. And from that command flows discipline, not motivation, not hype, discipline. The daily, invisible, unglamorous commitment to do what must be done, no matter how you feel. Discipline is the trait every master shares. It's how champions are made, not in moments of glory, but in quiet routines. The early morning silence, the late night grind, the middle of the day resistance when no one claps and no one sees, but you move anyway. Discipline is what separates the ones who want it from the ones who build it. It is what keeps the fire alive long after the feeling fades, because feelings fade, but principles don't. Emotions change, but identity endures. Discipline is what forges identity. You think Kobe Bryant rose to greatness on talent alone? He was up at 4 a.m. while others slept, not because he liked it, but because he decided who he was. Identity first, action second, greatness third. You don't act because you feel like it. You act because that's who you are now. Burn the bridge to being someone who waits to feel ready. Burn the bridge to relying on inspiration like a crutch. Your new standard is this: if it must be done, I do it. Period. Because every day you wake up, you are either feeding your future or fueling your failure. There is no neutral. There is no pause. Even silence is a vote for your past. And this is why vision matters. Because without it, you'll mistake distraction for duty. You'll confuse being busy with being productive. You'll work hard, but build nothing. Your actions must be rooted in vision, and your vision must be fueled by purpose, not external, internal. Purpose that isn't about being seen, but about becoming something worthy of being seen. Purpose that pulls you forward when willpower runs out. Purpose that survives failure, betrayal, and exhaustion. You don't find purpose, you build it. It begins when you realize that you're not here just to exist. You're here to create, to overcome, to impact, to leave behind a fingerprint of strength on the world. No matter how small your circle, no matter how quiet your journey. Purpose is not always loud. Sometimes it's a whisper that won't leave you alone. Sometimes it's the fire that wakes you up in the middle of the night and says, "You were meant for more." And when you answer that whisper, when you honor that fire, you begin to unlock a new kind of power. A power that's not given, not borrowed, but earned. Through relentless clarity, through disciplined action, through belief that does not waver when life hits back, because life will hit back. And that's where most people fold. Not because they're weak, but because they thought it would be easier, because they thought having a vision meant the path would be smooth, but it's not. The higher you climb, the more resistance you'll meet. And that's not punishment. That's confirmation. It means you're no longer walking where it's safe. You're walking where most people never dare to go. Burn the bridge to comfort. Burn the bridge to expecting it to be easy. Ease is not the path to excellence. Struggle is the price of transformation, and those who endure it, earn it.